right. Let's go to get this started here. It's Rant and Chill. I'm Mr. Deadman, and then with us here is Mr. Ken Stark. How you doing, Mr. Stark?
I'm very good, thank you. Good to be here.
Of Stark Enterprises, right? Is it Enterprises? Is that the?
Sure.
You sell weapons? Do you sell weapons? You sell weapons?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay. All right, that's a smart play. I mean, I was going to ask if you sell to like the Saudis or Israel, or you sell, if you know, I guess whoever has money, right?
Yeah, that money makes the world go around, baby.
How's that flying armor? The flying armor, yeah.
Oh man, I know you're joking, but would that be the coolest thing?
That would be pretty cool.
Seriously.
Though, be honest though, you would shit your pants, right? I would shit my pants.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
Jeez. Anyway, right now we're being friendly, but this is a serious debate about words and how words don't mean anything anymore. That's what I think.
It's like the nerdiest fight ever.
The nerdiest fight ever over definitions. And that's just about every single debate on the internet. Definitions. So there we go, Well, Ken, to start, before we get into this, before we get into the argument, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ken Stark. I write scary stuff.
How scary?
Hopefully nightmare scary.
Nightmare scary. Okay. All right. So should I buy one of your books and give it to my kids? Should I read your books to my kids? Like bedtime story time.
How old are your kids?
9.
They would like Arcadia Falls.
Arcadia Falls. That's the one where the kids are being kidnapped, right? Is that the one?
Yes.
Oh my God, that would scare my kids. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be great. That way I don't have to worry about them wandering too far from the house when they're walking around. Not that I'm watching them anyway. I'm just messing.
That is good parenting right there.
Right?
Try your best to ignore your kids.
Yeah. Just crack open a beer and be like, what happens, No. All right. But you have something new that you're working on, right?
I have something new that's coming out in, I believe, November, called Miracle Man. And,
Miracle Man. Cool.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing I've ever written. In fact, I think from now on I will have to write as good as that. I think it's that good. My usual thing is to take ordinary people and drop them into impossible situations and watch them squirm. This time, I took a good man, I gave him kind of a superpower, and I turned him evil. So it really allowed me to plumb the depths of like good versus evil, and we all have good and evil in us. And what would it take to turn a good man bad?
Turn a good, honest man bad. I put words in your mouth there, yeah. Honest. Which is funny how, we're going to talk about words don't have meaning, but what does honest even mean, right? What does good even mean? Good so subjective. Ken, how is this man good? What's going on?
He's just a good, kind, gentle man. He has a job. He's a librarian's assistant. The woman he loves is the head librarian. They're only 20-something. They're 20, 21, 22, so they're just young kids. They're both introverts, so they haven't gotten into the relationship stage yet. They're both still sort of pussyfooting around it. And then one day, this mild-mannered Milton Fisk discovers that he can heal with a touch.
The touch.
And at first he's scared by it, he's confused by it, and he decides, well, maybe I can make a few bucks off this. And his prospective girlfriend thinks it's wrong because there was only one other guy in history purported to have had that ability.
Christ.
And she compares him rather unfavorably to Jesus. He takes it as well as a 21, 22-year-old person would. And he can't hate her because he loves her. So he turns all of his hatred towards Jesus. And he makes it his life's mission. To destroy man's memory, the man's reputation, and then ultimately destroy the man himself. He wants to tear down all the old gods and take their place. So he does some pretty bad things.
Okay.
Writing it, I knew how bad he was going to be, but I didn't know quite how bad he was going to be. So it kind of shocked me. I usually start my day reading what I'd written the day before, and I would be reading this and think, no, dial it back. And I realized, no, that's what I'm doing. I'm turning him into a monster. So now I have to one up myself with the next chapter.
I have to ask, what is the most monstrous thing he does, or is there something you give us as like a little teaser here?
Well, it's in the tweet, so it's not giving anything away. He eventually discovers that he can not only heal with a touch, but he can resurrect the dead.
Oh, wait. When they resurrect, are they like fully resurrected and healed? Or are they like corpses, like the monkey paw thing?
No, they are fully restored to what they were before.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
So once he discovers he has that ability, then life becomes a plaything. He can kill someone just to bring them back, knowing that, well, they're only temporarily dead. I didn't really kill her. That's how he justifies it. So like I said, he does some pretty bad things, and especially when he starts to think of himself as better than all the old gods.
Well, I mean, he's living in the moment. Like, I can imagine him feeling like he's the only one who actually is a god in that moment because he has that ability, right? It's like all you people worship this guy, this Jesus guy. He can do all these things. It's written that he's done all those things, but I can actually do those things right now in the moment. Worship me. I'm your new savior. Quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see.
Right.
Yeah. Now, can this guy? I know. Sorry, I'm asking very specific questions here, but can he? Okay. He's not immortal, right? I mean, like, can he heal himself? Does he age?
He is mortal, but since he's a healer, yes, he can heal himself. So he is potentially eternal. So that's got to be a bit of a moment.
And that's nice too. That's nice. I always thought that people who can like heal should be able to heal themselves. There's certain, I guess, books, comics, and movies and games where that's just not possible. And so I've always found that to be kind of stupid. It's like, you have a healing ability. Why can't you use it on yourself? All right. That does sound good. And remind everybody again, when does it come out? What's going on?
It's out in, I think it's November 15th.
Okay.
Or 13th or 16th, but mid-November. It's available now for pre-order for 99 cents. So if you think you might want to read it, now is a pretty good time.
Now is a good time
just go to my Twitter. So just go to my Twitter page, and you'll see.
All right, and I'll include your Twitter handle in the description box of this episode here.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's get into the meat of this here. Nice civil conversation. It kind of reminds me of a horror show I used to do, which I'll be doing back in October. So, Mr. Stark, I understand you believe words have meaning.
You mean like those words you just put in the form of a question to to get an answer? Yeah, you got in touch with me and asked me what bugs me, and I brought up one word, and that word is decimate.
Decimate.
Decimate means to kill or to destroy 1/10 of a thing. It originated in the Roman army, ancient Rome, where if a unit disgraced themselves or showed cowardice, they would line them up and they would execute every 10th man.
Oh, shit. That would decimate them.
So that, exactly. As why it bugs me that people are using it today to mean utter destruction. The city was decimated.
They still use it, yeah. I see what you're saying there, but
it bugs me because the word has deci right in it, which means 10th. So I don't mind that words sometimes change meaning with the generations, but if a word has its meaning in the actual word, it seems to me it's pretty much untouchable. Like bedroom.
It would seem that way, Stark, but we are living in the current age. We're living in the current age where a lot of words are just changing right before our eyes and not meaning much of anything. I mean, decimate. It sounds cool. It sounds destructive. It sounds. See, if I want to put, I'm going to destroy your army, or I'm going to decimate your army. Which one sounds more menacing?
It sounds more menacing to say decimate, but it also sounds kind of stupid because you're using it wrong.
I will decimate your army.
It is such a pet peeve, I know, and it's so stupid and dorky, but it for some reason it bugs me. Like I say, it has the definition right there. Like word kilometer. Sorry to drop metric on you. I know it probably.
I'm sorry. I'm Freedom Land. I don't know what's a metric. Oh, that's another thing
too. It's a European thing.
Freedom. What's the word freedom? What does freedom mean, Ken? What does freedom mean?
Oh man, we had, as you know, we had this big rally in Ottawa. They shut the city down for days, and everyone was calling freedom from vaccine mandates, freedom from everything else. So they were just shouting freedom, and here I'm thinking, you live in the freest country in the world. You know, there's other countries are at war. You're screaming freedom. So I don't think they even know what it means. It's become just a word, you know, a meaningless word, really.
Freedom to me means to be able to do whatever you want without the government stepping in and saying you can't do that. So, you know.
So like speeding and murdering.
Yeah. Speeding, murdering. Yeah, just do whatever. Okay. And just let the law be handled by the citizens. Okay. If I speed and I don't harm anybody, what's the problem? What's the problem, right? Now, if I were to burglarize someone's house and they have a problem with it, which they probably would, and they try to attack me or shoot me, well, you know, that's what I get for exercising my freedom. They're exercising their freedom. But here's the thing: I don't feel like we live in freedom. But that's a whole different argument. But my thing is, the meaning freedom means that. But apparently now it doesn't mean that. Now it means freedom within reason.
So your definition of freedom is anarchy and survival of the fittest.
Yes.
Awesome.
The freedom to just go out there and like just live, okay? Just do you. Be you.
Oh, you can go get yourself a cabin somewhere. You can do you.
Get what now? I'm sorry, what was the start?
Get a cabin out in the woods.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you said get a... For some reason, I thought you said get something else, but that doesn't make any sense. Get a goat. I don't know why you'd say goat. I'm sorry. Sorry, I was mishearing that. Sorry.
It's quite all right. Know where your mind goes.
But the problem here is that, well, I'm just joking around here. The serious issue is that words do change over time, and their meaning change because, let's face it, a lot of these words, all these words are just constructs to convey a meaning, but that meaning, it changes. It's not absolute. Whereas decimate might mean like 1/10. I have to ask, 1/10 of what exactly? 1/10 of an army? Okay, how big is the army? If it's...
Does it matter? If it's a tenth, does it matter how big?
Well, I think it would matter. You would need to know like the full amount to know what the tenth is, right? What is a tenth of...
How you're arguing how long is a piece of string?
Well, yeah, because we're talking about tenth. we're talking about. I get what you're saying, that it's like, oh, it's decimate, it's 1/10 or whatever, but it's like, well, 1/10 of what? I mean, if let's say Ukraine fighting Russia back, maybe they decimated Russia when they in the process of fighting them back and reclaiming some parts.
Yeah.
They decimated because maybe they killed off 1/10, destroyed 1/10 of Russia's army. Would that be appropriate?
Probably did.
Would that be appropriate?
Yep.
But then again,
it doesn't have to be exactly 1/10. Just, around 1/10.
Yeah.
But accept that. I'm willing to negotiate.
I say, it just sounds cool, and it sounds destructive. I mean, what about the word? What about the word shit? What does the word shit mean, Ken?
That is an old English word meaning poo.
Meaning poo, right?
It's old English. When the Normans conquered England, French became the official royal language. So people of polite society would learn French and they would speak French, and it expanded the vocabulary. English is basically a third French, and so Old English words just became taboo. Speak French. Be one of the aristocracy.
So I agree. I would think it's nasty, disgusting. It means poo. Poo's disgusting. It's shit. All right. It's a word you say. You could express it to you could say it to express to something in disdain. Right. You could be like, oh,
Sure.
Something being inferior. But however, couldn't it also be used as a way to say something is good?
As in,
oh man, that's the shit. Oh, that is the shit. Like, oh man.
Yeah, okay.
You got to read Ken's books. They are the shit, dude. They are awesome.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you put that on a cover. But yeah, you're right that it could be used like that.
So what does it mean then? What's does it
Means
mean
my
both?
books are- Thank you. I think you have to have a certain credibility to use a word like that the way you used it. I don't think an old white guy can get away with using it in that context. It's not going to fit.
Well, the magic word you just said, context. And context is great. Context is key with a lot of just about every word. I mean, like, let's say the word nice. Like if I say or if I say Ken Stark, what would I say? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. The words, everything you said about your book, that's nice. That's good. Or I say, oh, that's nice. Oh, oh, yeah, that's real nice. That's real nice. See, it's the context, the tone, all that. It really changes, right?
I will give you that.
But
all I'm saying is there are some words that have the definition within the words themselves, as in the word you weren't going to let me use, kilometer, means 1,000 meters. It cannot mean anything else. Kilo means 1,000. Meters mean meters. So kilometer has to mean kilometer. Bedroom has to mean bedroom.
Well, problem is these words were created by colonizers, and they have to be destroyed. And measuring things, that's racist now. That's problematic because that's the tools created by probably by the white man. So they're just awful. Okay, so we're gonna have to redefine what they are.
Man, America's in trouble.
Oh, it is. It is in trouble. We don't even know what a woman is.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna argue that.
I know, right?
I'm not gonna get into that.
I think I'm married to one. I believe I'm married to a woman. But
Woman?
I hope she's a woman. I gotta ask if she's a man. Are you a man this whole time? I don't know.
She could ask you the same thing.
Like, well, you know what's crazy about that? If they're like, well, what's a woman? What's a man? Ken, what's a penis? What's a vagina? What are these things? Do they mean anything?
I think I'm a student of science, so if an anatomy book says a penis is this,
yeah,
then I will take that as gospel.
Right? Because you're not going to wake up one day and just start calling cats dogs. You know? But, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But get back to the word nice, though. Nice didn't always mean nice.
Didn't it? What did it mean?
Well, like when someone says nice now, it means what? Something that's good, right? That's pleasant. But apparently, a long time ago, it didn't mean that. It was more like an insult, like a foolish or stupid. Or,
there are words that have just come to mean the exact opposite of what they used to. The word gay used to mean like a ladies' man, a playboy.
Yeah.
Now, completely opposite. The word peruse. People use it as in, oh yeah, I gave your paper a quick scan, a quick perusal. But peruse actually means to really delve into, to read the whole thing and research it. So it is odd that words can completely flip meanings, but I guess
how's that happen?
That's English
like,
for it.
So you take a word like peruse, which means, like, I guess dig thorough in a book, whatever, read it thoroughly, but then all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, it means the opposite, right? So how does it happen? Like, is it through like sarcastic use of it, inappropriate use of it? Like what's happening there?
I'm gonna guess sarcasm. I really am. It just seems to me that there was some joker way back, probably in the government.
A joker.
He probably said, "Oh yes, I'll peruse your paper," and he flips a couple of pages, and suddenly it's the joke of the day, and it becomes de rigueur to use it that way.
You know what? You might have a point there. I think because even the word "nice," I think the reason why it became the opposite of what it meant is through sarcasm. Like the French would say, "Oh, I don't know." It apparently was a French word, or at least comes from that. So I'm guessing when they would use it to insult people just didn't know that it was an insult, and they would think it was fine, and then they would use it in their own different way. Like the word didn't really have a meaning to them, but it formed a new meaning. It became something different. So that's kind of interesting.
I think that's very possible.
Kind of like the word shit, like we said earlier. Shit. Like shit is obviously disgusting, nasty, and gross, but you could say it in a certain. You'd say, "Oh, that is the shit. That is the shit right there."
Well, it's like this generation's version of bad, right? Bad used to be
that's
bad.
That is real bad.
Yeah.
Or sick.
There you go.
Oh, dude, that is sick. What do you mean sick? Oh man, you don't even know. It is sick. Man, that was a 90s thing. Sick. Another 90s thing was gay too. People like gay became. You mentioned gay, ladies' man. Before it was also like happy,
Mm-hmm.
But in the 90s it became like everyone. When I say everyone, I'm a product of the 90s. With the school in the 90s, high school. Everyone in my school used it. Even the gay guys used it. Okay, even my gay Asian best friend used it. Okay, as like just a way to say something silly or whatever, or like just dumb. But like it's just saying, "Oh, that's dumb." Oh, that's gay. That's gay. That's just gay. It's like okay, but you can't. It doesn't mean that. But it's just
English is. I don't know if other languages go through this. I'm sure they do. I mean, I've watched Asian movies where they will have phrases in English. So I guess all languages do it. We adopt phrases from other places, and definitions do change. But I don't think any language has changed quite as much as English. Like if you went back to 1,000 years ago, before the Battle of Hastings, you probably wouldn't be able to communicate with anyone. They were all speaking English, but they were all speaking Old English. Probably the only word you'd be able to pick out is shit.
Yeah. That'd be the one we could relate to shit. We could relate on that.
Oh, I got that one.
Yeah.
The word awful. Sorry, I was just going to say the word awful actually meant full of awe. Like it inspired you. It filled you with awe.
Right.
The word terrific. The root word is based on terror. It's terrible. It's the same root word as terrible.
Yeah.
So it is terror-inducing. Now it's something great.
Right. So much similar to decimate, it is a word that even in its own, like the root of it, means something completely different than how it's used now. So what happened? Because you can even see that in old like horror movies and horror books. Will be it's terrific, but they're saying that like in a good way or something.
Yeah. Like there was a terrific blaze.
Yeah, terrific
running
blaze
through the house. Yeah.
But I was thinking about that because I was reading up on that before this. I was like, well, it kind of in a way, kind of like when I read that, I'm thinking the same I'm thinking it means kind of the same, but same but different. that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it kind of does. Like, all right, so it means terror. Terror, you'd be awestruck by terror, but you could also fear. Like, you're going to fear it. It's also terrible. It's also going to be harmful or potentially harmful, something bad. So maybe it's like the meaning kind of morphed in a way. Like if you say, "Oh, it's a terrible blaze," would they think it's a pathetic blaze, or would they say? Let me just ask you: if you read the sentence, "It is a terrible blaze," right now in the current day, what would you think it means?
That the house burned down and people died.
Yeah, that's a terrible blaze,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean, I guess it was a big blaze because it was big and strong, whatever, you know. So in a way, it kind of like, I don't know if it lost all that much meaning. I mean, it kind of gives the point that, right?
Yeah. Damn, I'm gonna have to concede a point here because awful actually means full of awe. So I just kind of countered myself because I use awful all the time.
Right? But you could be full of awe of something that is disgusting. Oh, that's awful. You're full of awe of how disgusting it is. See, you're still full of awe about how bad something is. Like, maybe you read Twilight and was like, man, this is utter shit. What the hell? Glittering vampires? I wouldn't even take a dump on this. You were struck by awe by how bad it was.
You realize we're arguing each other's points now.
We shifted.
We've switched sides.
That's what happens on this show all the time. Like, so these arguments are hard to keep because it's like they are.
Well, and we both go into it knowing that we're probably both completely wrong.
There was an episode where I had to argue that the term porn star applied to everyone that was remotely like doing OnlyFans and stuff. That like everyone was. It was so dumb, but it was great. I thought it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, there's a lot of words, man. A lot of words. Awesome would be another one.
Yeah.
Now people use awesome. Awesome's used way too much. If you were to ask me, if awesome what lost its meaning, definitely. Everything is awesome. The Lego Movie. Not everything is awesome. If everything's awesome, nothing's awesome. Doesn't make any sense. You can't be struck awe by everything you see. That doesn't make any sense.
And I have contributed to its lack of meaning myself because I overuse it. I still do.
Yeah. I mean, the casual banter, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. But, okay. Yeah. But could everything be struck? Could you be amazed by everything at once? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, that would be a tough way to go through life, wouldn't it?
Right.
Oh my God, a cat. Like, this is the best cornflakes I've ever had.
No, that would be someone. That's hilarious. Everything's oh my God, that Corona you're drinking looks so good. Oh my God. Dude,
it's like maybe someone with real short-term memory loss, like like a goldfish kind of brain. It's like, oh, it's the best sandwich ever. You just had one. Oh, but this is the best one ever.
Oh man, this Lone Star is the best ever.
It's from Texas.
Oh man. Yeah, imagine having a sandwich, like you're eating it, and I guess you just continue thinking it's awesome. Think it's great. Yeah, man.
Loney, yeah. That poor guy. That poor man. Just put him out of his movie.
You know what, though? He's probably the happiest person on earth. Right? Wait. Did I lose your audio?
Speaking.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, me? All right. No idea.
Yeah, that would be great. I actually kind of want that. I kind of want to be like that, where everything was awe-inspiring all the time. that'd be a
Well,
good way.
you could hope for like a severe cranial trauma or something.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
be careful what I wish for. I do ride a motorcycle now, so that is something that could be delivered.
I'm sorry for you.
Well, what are some other words that completely lost its meaning? That it's just, I think looking at the words we talked about so far, I think you could see that words have definitely changed over time, especially certain words, and it's kind of like based on how society used them, right? So, what really is the meaning then, if it's going to shift like that?
And if you write something that's going to be around 100 years from now, is anyone going to know what you mean by what you say?
Right.
Like Shakespeare was great at making up words. He wouldn't just change definition. He would just make up words that are still with us today. So like it's tough to read still, but what an awesome legacy. To make up words that become everyday words. But I bet in his day, it was seen as, oh, that's funny little play on words or something. Instead of saying of a sudden, he would start saying all of a sudden. Now we never say of a sudden, the door opened.
Just say all of a sudden. Now. It caught on. It caught on, right?
Yeah.
So he created a word. It caught on. People would start using it frequently, regularly, and it becomes part of the vernacular. It becomes accepted. So in a way, a word doesn't. So words can be created. Obviously, words can be created. That's how everything I'm saying here, everything you're saying, like it was created. It was created to mean something at that moment.
That's another interesting thought. Like, who decided on calling a dog a dog? Like, there had to be a consensus, right? There was
Right.
probably a time when different villagers around.
That is not a
dog.
dog. Okay, that is a moose. No.
Yeah,
that doesn't make
exactly
any sense.
right.
We're gonna save moose for something else. Okay, that's a good word, but that's not a moose. Okay.
We'll save it until we discover the new land.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like at some point they had to come together and say, no, we're calling it a dog. Like, well, who decides? Beats me. I guess it's a general consensus that, well, yeah, dog is a better word than flammersham. Yeah, okay, fine, we'll call it a dog. Or is it that you got a bigger spear than I do, so yeah, we'll call it a dog if you would say so.
Bigger spear,
Again,
bigger beard. Well,
English is just weird at the best of times.
another word is fuck. What does fuck actually mean? Like, I heard different things, and I don't even know what is the truth anymore. I thought it was. I heard this might be all fake. That it was meant to like fornicate under the king's command or command of the king. I don't think it means that. That just seems like a
Probably not.
No, that just literally is the letters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that word.
I truly
means.
don't know either. I truly don't know either, but I bet it's an old English word as well. That was kind of, outlawed or put out of general usage when the French conquered England and French became the official language. I'd put my money on that. If only we had means of accessing all the information known to humankind on something that would be on our desktop, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'll look it up later. I'll get back to you. It'll just add to my search history that has to be deleted once I die.
Yeah. Well, there's cloud. Apparently, cloud did not always mean clouds. Apparently, I don't know. I read up on this too, that cloud is an old English term meant for like rocks.
Really?
Yeah, but it's CLUD. But okay. So I was that's the etymology of it.
That's intriguing. Well, clod means, a piece of, like a chunk of soil or a stupid person. So maybe you're right. I don't know. I'll look that one up too. Now I've got homework. Yay.
So is it possible that decimate could like? But
No.
with the way people are using decimate very regularly in a wrong way, so to speak, as according to you, very wrong.
According to me, yeah.
I mean, do you think it's too late? Do you think it caught on that people just think it means destruction?
I'm sure it's too late, and I'm sure that I will lose this Mortal Kombat. But every time I hear it used wrong, I will roll my eyes in the same way as knowing that there are bad drivers out there. There's nothing I can do about it. It's part of the culture. If one person was saying it like that, maybe I talk them out of it.
Bad driving is something. I mean, bad is subjective. Like what's a bad driver, Ken?
Oh man,
someone who's driving fast and loose.
Damn you! I meant bad, and it's. Oh, I want to say original definition, but I don't even know if it's the original definition.
Yeah, because sometimes I try to be a badass driver, try to go fast and just cut through. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait in line. I don't want to wait behind slow people. I want to go. I want to go.
I'm not arguing that.
Carpe diem, seize today. All right. You might not live to see tomorrow, but I'll live in the moment. Okay.
That's an interesting take on life.
Yeah. Live free.
It's funny that people say you only live once are the ones that always die young.
Die doing something stupid. Hold my beer.
Yeah. Don't try something.
Hey, check this out. Hey, you want to see freedom? Check this out. I got 2 AR-15s. We're gonna go celebrate America's birthday. Yeah, that's totally something. On a motorcycle?
Oh. No. There you go.
But now, what about hot teacher? If you hear the word hot teacher, what do you visualize? What do you think of?
Believe me, that meant the same when I was a kid as it does today. Thanks to Van Halen.
Right. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember ever having one, but
I had many. Well, I had a few actually. Spanish teacher and English teacher. It was good stuff. It was nice. it made going to school really nice. But
yeah.
The problem is though, the word hot teacher, that phrase, what does it mean? It can mean anything now. Because some people I guess find 300-pound they call very voluptuous, which voluptuous lost its meaning, I think. You know, voluptuous was like I think
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Okay, that's voluptuous. But it's like, and curvy lost its meaning. It's like, well, there's curves, and then there's like almond joys, or I don't know what you would call them. I don't want to be too mean, you know. I don't want to be shameful. Okay, all right. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to paint a picture, illustrate a point with words. Damn it.
As long as it's you using those words, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool. But it's crazy now. You know that it's. What do you think is going to happen? Like as far as being able to communicate, are we just gonna be? Have you seen the movie Idiocracy? Are we gonna be de-evolved down to just like using guttural noises? Is it gonna be like that?
Some of us do that now. I don't think it'll come to that. But yeah, it's you really have to be careful what you say all the time around everyone, especially on social media, especially if it's going to be out there forever. You could say something that is perfectly fine to say today, and a few years from now it becomes an insult or something.
Yeah, it's insane how fast it is. Like the word psycho.
Yeah.
We are in a horror sphere, and psycho's used quite a bit. In fact, Psycho is a very it's a classic movie, okay? It's a classic movie.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. And it's a movie that was a trailblazer for many others.
Yes.
For a whole subgenre. Now, the problem is, apparently, if you use it, people come at you and be like, oh, you're ableist or whatever. I had that moment when I used for one of my books or whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I should have paid them any mind, but you know me, I paid them some attention. I was like, I don't really care. I just told them, I don't really care what you're talking about. Like, just move on because this is stupid. And they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't care. Like, I clearly didn't mean it that way. All right.
Yes.
I'm just saying there are psychotic lunatics out there that are homicidal and crazy. And that is true. Those words still mean something. I mean,
yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You don't want to insult anyone, but you want to get your point across.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough balancing act for sure.
It is. It is. Wow.
Like, yeah. I mean, I could put something in one of my books that will be around 100 years from now, and will it mean the same thing? Will it convey the same message? Will it be something totally hurtful? Mm-hmm. They're banning books now written, 100 years ago. Huck Finn, whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's like Huck Finn's a classic. Keep that in. To Kill Mockingbird is banned too. It's like, no, keep that in.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I understand. I truly do, and I feel for people who are offended by it. But it's literature. It's from its time. Maybe not put it in school. I truly don't know. I'm not even going to get into that argument. But it shouldn't be it shouldn't be burned. It's a classic. It's literature of its time. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I definitely see the value of that book in school. I mean, I know you don't want to get into the argument, but I think I'll be on your side there, in agreement there that I think it would be worthwhile to teach, especially the context and history. See, there are a lot of books, especially classic books, that are a good example of, they're like, okay, look, I know it's a piece of fiction, but the fiction reflects reality in that is a way people saw things and the way they talk. Now, it's not like it's not a true story. It's not a one for one. Okay. There was probably never a Huck Finn moment ever. Nothing even close to it. Okay. Never happened. But the ideas that led up to the story, that inspired it, definitely were very real. Very real. And a product of its time.
And instead of just erasing it from history, use it as a teaching moment. Those horrible things happened because this is how people saw the world. This is how an average white writer of the time saw things. That's a teachable moment. That's not garbage.
Right. That's definitely true. I mean, even Mark Twain, though, even back then, he was. I mean, if we were to talk about that for his time, like he wasn't as bad as others. I mean, you can go back in time and look at other authors, be like, well, they were pretty bad, but there's some that were like not as bad. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between using the words that you would commonly use in conversation at whenever you're alive, and using it to degrade.
Right.
Like in Miracle Man, I have him say some horrible things, but he is literally an antichrist, so he's not a good man, but he's not the hero of the story, right? Like if I made him the hero of the story, then yeah, okay, that's pretty bad. That blasphemy, whatever. But it is. I don't even know where I was going with that.
That's okay.
It bothers me that when a book is written not to be defamatory, just to be a tale, and they use the language of the time, it bothers me when people turn against that because, you can't use that language.
Right. They I think they might look a little too deep into it and take it like the wrong way. Because at the same time, some of that vocabulary that I think we're talking about is also in a lot of very mainstream popular music in America without any issues or consequence whatsoever. And the reality is while we can't say those words on a stream or on social media, in real life on the streets, those words are being used quite often, and also not just by people of I mean, all sorts of people. You know, it's used by a lot of people. I'll put that way. The other thing I was gonna say is, man, as far as changing words and all that, I think I covered everything I wanted to as far as the changing of definitions. So, like, I mean, words definitely change definitions. Their meaning is subject to society. In that sense, they are definitely a construct that can change over time.
Yes, exactly. And
you said exactly. Did I just win it? I'm just
but what did I mean by exactly?
Oh,
exactly. Exactly.
Wait, you're being sarcastic. You're being sarcastic. Damn it. Damn it.
I'm going to pick out every word you say. I think also words change depending on who decides to use it in a different way. Like who was the first person to say something, in the 80s, something was fat? And who was the first person to do that? Probably a musician,
that's
probably a popular musician, right? And it became the thing to say.
Oh, you brought up fat. I have to bring up another word. You want to talk about Shakespearean made up words? PHAT. You know what that is?
It's fat.
PHAT. Yeah, fat. But you know what that means, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What about THICC?
I never heard that.
Thick?
Yeah. What's it mean?
It means what you think it means. Thick. THICC. Okay. Oh, she's thick. She's thick. It's
now,
it's like voluptuous. It's like fat. It's like that's fat.
If you think about it, the English language changed because the Normans invaded, and they were the popular folks. They were the royalty, so they had the influence. So maybe that words changed because of the influence of one person or a group.
Oh, definitely. That is 100% true right there. I mean, that's what's happening current day now. I mean, there's certain streamers on YouTube. They'll misspell words on purpose, like in their I guess in their titles and whatever, because I guess it trends in the algorithm, whatever. And then like there's kids that like watch those videos, right? And they think that's how you spell that word, so the word just stays misspelled. So things.
Oh man.
I mean, that makes sense, though. If you look at just that little example of how like things change for words change, the meaning and the spelling of it over time. So
it suddenly occurred to me that we probably sound like a couple of old codgers. When I was a kid, thick meant thick, bag, nabbit.
Oh, thick still means thick to me, though. It's like she's a brick house. What does that mean?
I love that song.
You know that song?
I put that song in my very first book. Put those lyrics in.
So yeah. So you know what brick house is, you know what thick is. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So this is pretty good. I enjoyed this rant and chill over definition of words. Are there other words that you want to talk about, or do you think we got it down?
Oh, yeah, no, that's enough for me.
Okay.
It does. It makes me pause sometimes when I'm writing. Like, is this going to convey the same message when the book comes out? Like, language changes so fast. So is it going to convey the same message exactly how I want it conveyed? And I always like to think about a kid picking up one of my books 100 years from now. Because most of my favorite authors when I was a kid were already dead. So will they understand the same message? Will it mean exactly the same thing to them, or will it mean, will it have a slightly different meaning? It is fascinating.
Yeah, I could imagine so. Or will they even be able to read it, being that they are raised on YouTube and learning like they don't know how to read the right word, the right spelling. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they'll be like, this guy's the worst speller ever.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Well, Mr. Stark, it's great having you on Rant and Chill. Now, this is actually going to be like one of my last episodes of Rant and Chill. I went in on this, but what's going to happen is October, we're coming up there. We're going to start doing the Dead Man Horror Show on the other channel. I'm going to be starting that up again, and kind of a similar feel to this. I mean, Ken Stark's been on that show quite a bit. That's more of a horror focus, kind of digging more into horror movies and horror topics and
baby,
stuff like that. So not as nerdy as talking about, not as big brain as talking about words, definition of words, but still kind of nerdy and geeky as far as like horror stuff goes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, with that said,
genre nerdy.
You guys take it easy and have a good one.
Y'all.